I'm at 1703 First Avenue in Priceville, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a building. This is a two-family. Looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. We're going in through, I believe it used to be an old cast iron stack. It's been rusted out, and there's a like 1.5 inch kitchen line that comes down and just sits in it, and it hasn't been. It's not held in place. It's just sitting down freely in there. So we pulled that out and we were able to go through there. So we're going to start the inspection in the rear left corner of the house if you're facing the house from First Avenue. And we're going to go out as far as we can. It is a tiny bit of cast iron at a 90, and then it turns to clay under the floor, which is normal. So you can tell as soon as you get down through there, it's turning to clay, which is normal for this age of house. But we may have to run some water up. If nothing else, we'll inspect this a little bit better on the way back. There's some stuff on the front of the camera. I'm going to try to pull back and clean it and see if it goes through better this second time. But I think as soon as I get into it, I think it's hitting, the lens is hitting the pipe, and so that's what's getting on the front of the camera. So we're going to have to try to shake it off, or hopefully we'll hit some water or something we can rinse it. If not, we'll go out a little ways and we'll at least be able to inspect it on the way back. This is the kitchen line, so this is probably going to be pretty dirty. A lot of spider webs and stuff in here, which doesn't help. At this point is push that as far as we can, try to dip it in the main. That's the only way we can see on the way back. But see, above the flow line, I do have a standoff on the line, and here we are at a repair, it looks like, or we could be out of the street already. This is a green PVC, which is SDR. It's just the way they grade the thickness of the wall pipe. A little bit that I can see, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of issue structurally, but we should be able to see a lot better when we pull back. They just need to be flushed out. There's obviously been a couple repairs made already. Now, those green pipe, this is obviously not original, so we should be getting pretty close to the main here. There we go. Try that again. Still dripping off the side of the pipe here. I'm sitting at 80 degrees, so I am still vertical. This must be really, really deep. There we are, all the way down into the main. So it must be, that dropped off for who knows how many feet. It could have been 10 feet or more dropped into the main. We were vertical for quite a while, so I'm going to try to continue rinsing off the front of this camera. So hopefully we can see when we pull back. Looks like there's still some spider webs on the front of this thing. That's a problem. But it should clear up enough where we'll be able to see when we get back horizontal. Yeah, I think we were at least 10 feet of vertical pipe. Wow, so that main must be, I'm sure it's pretty large because it's a combined system, but it's a pretty big drop off. So all this stuff at the main obviously looks really good. I'm going to pause the video for a minute. We're going to try to run some water through the line with a stationary tub here in the basement to see how that acts as we pull back. Hopefully it'll help rinse off a little bit. Okay. So we're running some water. See if I'm able to catch up to getting all the way down the pipe. We're still 100 feet out. But I just kind of want to see how it acts as it flows through the line at the same time. But it looks like we have another piece of that is like SDR35, which is a PVC material, and that's where these connections are. It looks like there's a connection coming from above there, or a clean out. So I believe there's an outside clean out out there. This is probably right at the sidewalk. This is a MSD installed clean out. We're sitting right below it here. And so there would be access to this from the outside. So it has been repaired. This was all their work, I'm sure, and now we are back in clay. So I would be pretty sure that this would be on back onto the property at about 91 feet. There's some buildup. It looks like grease buildup more than anything on the bottom of the pipe here. Could also be some mineral deposits also. Obviously there's laundry coming through here. A lot of it comes from laundry and cooking. But doesn't look like it's really causing any issue with the flow. We have a little bit of build up here on the wall. Again, looks like maybe some root intrusion, a little tiny bit of root intrusion and some grease buildup on that. So I think right now I would recommend, based off of what I'm seeing, it wouldn't be bad to have this thing cleaned as a precautionary thing. If I see anything in the flow line anyway, most of this stuff is outside of the flow line, so it's not really affecting anything. Here's another repair made. This is back on the property, so this was a repair made by the property owner at some point, I'm sure. So I'll try to rinse that little bit of spider web off the front of the lens there. It's not really obstructing much view, but it is enough to get annoying. I mean, it does look like everything is flowing well. I haven't seen any major structural damage or any structural issues. And I'm sure this house is at least 100 years old. So here's some crap. cracks, just a little bit of cracks. And those two connections were inside the house. That's not something that looks like it's, there are some cracks, but that's not something that I would recommend screwing with. Nothing's fallen in or anything like that, so I wouldn't think if you mess with it, you couldn't make it worse. There's another top connection. Be a floor drain. Should be able to tell pretty quickly if we're...
Okay, this issue is actually coming from
We're still behind
the cellar door.
still behind the sink.
The cell is actually
And now we're out of it. This is just in the kitchen line here. This comes down from both kitchens, I believe. So this is the last bit of pipe here. You can see this looks like, again, maybe a little bit of intrusion, but it looks mainly like grease buildup on there on the side of it. And food material and stuff. See all white. And you can see how much more of it there is in this part of the line, because this is the main sink line, so everything that comes down here is coming out of the sink, the kitchen sink. A little bit of intrusion there and some buildup on there. Looks like I've drug some wet wipes back with me, which is something that I would recommend that no one ever use. Wet wipes can easily catch on things and they don't disintegrate like toilet paper, so I recommend that no one ever use them. They say flushable, but they are not. They will not break down like toilet paper. So if they ever get stuck, they do cause backups instead of disintegrating in the water like toilet paper. But, so I didn't see any structural issues. I did see a few spots where there's some grease getting in and sticking to the side of the pipe. Maybe a little tiny bit of root intrusion in spots, and then it's layered. Could be dead roots that just were coming through the connection, or it even could be original, a little bit of buildup of the original like mortar that they used to connect the clay, and then that grease is just building up on the side of it. That's why it's white like that. Could be coming from the laundry, but mainly it's coming from the on this line it would be from the sinks. So it's just grease coming down the sink. For a 100-year-old house, it's not, it's not something that's would be, a major issue or a major surprise. So I'm going to recommend that they just, maybe get a line flush if they're concerned about it. But the line's functioning properly. At the time of the inspection, everything is functioning properly. So I would say, structurally everything is good. They just, if they want to have it flushed before they take over ownership, that would be the only recommendation I would have. So that will end the inspection at 1703 First Avenue in Price Hill.